Theory and Harmony. This book is compiled and edited by Joe Deneen and Mark Bridges, and that was just major keys and minor keys. So like C major, A minor, B flat major, G minor, that kind of thing. And that's what the sharps and flats were relevant to for the major and minor keys. This is called, in the basics section, believe it or not, it's called the relative, parallel and enharmonic keys. So relative keys, parallel keys and enharmonic keys. Relative keys I think I've heard of. You get a chart, which is pretty useful, and you get another chart, and then you get another chart, and then you get a graph thing. Relative keys, a major key and a minor key. A major key is happy in C, and a minor key is sad in C. A major key and a minor key that have the same key signature are relative to each other and are called relative keys. A major key and a minor key that have the same key signature are relative to each other. They're called relative keys. For example, A minor, sad key, is the relative minor key of C major, at happy C. And C major is the relative major key of A minor. Relative minor of C. C major is the relative major of A minor. Relative minor to this. Relative major to this. Meaning G major is the relative major of the minor third. Difference means you go down 2 semitones and land on the third. G major is the relative major of E minor. And G minor is the relative minor key of, go up from G, a major third, to B flat. G minor is the relative minor key of B major. B major is the relative major key of G minor. So the chart gives an idea of who's related to who. The relative minor with G minor uses the minor third, which means you hop 2 semitones and go to the one above. So you go G, hop A flat, hop A, and go to B flat. So the minor third is 3 above, and it's got 2 half steps in between it. relative major of C. No. C is the relative major of A minor. And A minor is the relative minor of C major. G major is the relative major of E minor. And E minor is the relative minor of G major. D major is the relative major of A minor. And B minor is the relative minor of D major. A major is the relative major of F sharp minor. F sharp minor is the relative minor of A major. E major is the relative major of C sharp minor. And C sharp is the relative minor of E major. B is the relative major of G sharp minor. And G sharp minor is the relative minor of E major. F sharp major is the relative major of D sharp minor. And D sharp minor is the relative minor of F sharp major. C sharp major is the relative major of A sharp minor. And A sharp minor is the relative minor of C sharp major. That's the sharps. C sharp major is A sharp minor. Because that F sharp no gets in the way. Guess you could go lower so it doesn't. And then the flats section. The top section was the sharps section, the one I just played, and this section is the flats section. So C major is the relative minor again to A minor, no changes there. F major is the relative minor to, no, F major is the relative major to D minor, and D minor is the relative minor to F major. B flat major is the relative major to G minor, and G minor is the relative minor to E flat major. E flat major is the relative major to C minor, and C minor is the relative minor to E flat major. to F minor. F minor is the relative minor to A flat major. D flat major is the relative major to B flat minor. And B flat minor is the relative minor to D flat major. G flat major is the relative major to E flat minor, and E flat minor is the relative minor to G flat major. C flat major is the relative major to A flat minor. A flat minor is the relative minor to C flat major. And they sound together like this. And in between them is a minor third. So between the C major, you just go down 3 semitones, 3 half steps to where the relative minor is, and that makes it a minor third. Never heard of it. It's something called a parallel key, and it says a major key and a minor key that have the same letter name, C major and C minor, C major and C minor, are called parallel keys. For example, G major is the parallel key of G minor. Parallel keys: C major and C minor, C sharp major and C sharp minor, also known as D flat major and D flat minor. D major, D minor, D flat or E flat major, D flat or E flat minor, E major, E minor, F major or F minor, F sharp or G flat major, F sharp or G flat minor, G major, G minor, G sharp or A flat major, G sharp or A flat minor, A major or A minor, A sharp or B flat major, A sharp or B flat minor, B major, B minor, and again C major and C minor. So parallel keys are the same key, but it's either major or minor. Major is happy and minor is sad. Relative keys are the major and then 3 semitones down, you've got the relative minor connected to it. So relative is parallel is And then the final one, which I don't know what is meaning, is called enharmonic keys. Two keys that sound the same but are spelt differently are called enharmonic keys. There are 3 pairs of enharmonic major keys. And there's the diagram. It's a graph. No, it's a chart. 2 keys that sound the same, enharmonic keys, but are spelled differently. They're called enharmonic keys. There are 3 pairs of enharmonic major keys. C sharp major. It's an enharmonic key called D flat major. C sharp and D flat. F sharp major is also called G flat major, and B major, I keep saying this a lot, is called C flat major, because it's the flat of the C. So C sharp, D flat, F sharp, G flat, B and C flat. 2 keys that sound the same but are spelt differently. They're called enharmonic keys. There are 3 pairs of enharmonic minor keys. B flat is called A sharp. I haven't quite read it properly, have I? E flat minor is A sharp minor, E flat minor is D sharp minor, and A flat minor is G sharp minor. 3 pairs though, I've read them separately, so 3 pairs of enharmonic major keys. No, I don't know. I don't know what it means. Well, either way, C sharp is D flat, D sharp is E flat, F sharp is G flat, G sharp is A flat, and A sharp is B flat, that's for sure, and then B is C flat, so that's the 6. To memorise the order in which the sharps are placed on the stave, some musicians use acronyms like Frank can't go dancing after eating blueberries. You are encouraged to make up your own acronyms for both the sharp order and the flat order. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Frank can't go dancing after eating blueberries. Just use that. To memorise the order in which the sharps are placed on the stave, some musicians use acronyms like Frank can't go dancing after eating blueberries. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, which is F, and then B sharp, which is C. Another solution somewhere. Enharmonic keys, two keys that sound the same but are spelled differently. Enharmonic keys.